So it's a big warm welcome here to Lydden Hill, round 2 of this MotoGB British Supermoto Championship. Weather could not be better, track's absolutely excellent, a few changes to previously, so let's have a little look round the track now. There we are, to get off the start into this little finish chicane here, very, very tight. Power on as we go towards this deep right-hand corner. They'll be sliding the back end into here. This is into the Old Pilgrims, around onto the first of the off-road sections. There are 2 of them here, very slippery. You can see it's quite shaly. Those semi-slick tyres will be struggling to pick up grip around this part of the circuit. Meanwhile, a little bit dusty as you'd expect, but I'm sure a little bit of watering will take care of that problem. Out of this first off-road section, back on to the tarmac in just a moment. And there it is, we go down the long back straight into Devil's Elbow, which is the sharp left-hand corner, which we're just going into now. There'll be a lot of really side sliding going in there from the guys. Up this little short hill into this second little off-road section. It's been used before here at Lydden Hill. It's very, very tight. Big wall of death on the left-hand side. Chance to do some overtaking there. As we put the power back on again, as we get back onto the tarmac, it's going to be tight there into the top right-hander. This is the hairpin. Again, braking hard, opening the power up as we come down Hairy Hill into this new little chicane section that's been put in for this second round of the series. There it is. There'll be a lot of very tight braking going into there as they open up the power and down towards Paddock Bend very fast, very, very fast, as they lay the bike over and head towards the start and finish. Well, there you are, that's a lap here of the Lydden Circuit, here in Kent. Well, let's meet a young man that's a veteran now to supermoto racing, former enduro rider on that number 5 bike.
Hi, my name's Adi Smith. I run under the Adi Smith Off-Road Schools banner. I'm sponsored by KTM UK in supermoto and enduros, and also with my business, which is doing off-road training schools. Obviously the speed with supermoto is a very, very fast type of racing. It's not quite so technical in terms of slow speed corners, but yes, sort of a cross between road racing and motocross or enduros. Enduros 90% or 70% you stand up. Supermoto you sit down virtually all the time, apart from a little bit of off-road. But no, it's totally different type of sport.
So there you are, Adi Smith, former enduro rider and accomplished supermoto rider, giving you some insight into the differences between various sports. But this is the first one, SM3 and the MRO Challenge, a combined race. We've got 2 SM3 riders there at the moment. Number 43, Scott Woodcare on that 450 Aprilia, gets out front. He's chased by 75, that's Kevin Ridley, of course, he's on KTM as the rest of the field come through. 76 in amongst that group as well, that's Stuart Jones. Let's look out for the SM3 riders, and that should be 94, 52, 72 and number 11, but it is the 43 bike at the moment that leads it through, and look at him getting that back end locked up as he flip-flops into that right-left section there down by the start and finish. This 2-cylinder Aprilia really going like absolute full steam. And leaving the rest to play catch up. That looks like one of the SM3 riders on the Kawasaki. Well, that could be Raoul Spangenberg, 38 points in the championship behind Colin Spink, who's on 45 in that class. But meanwhile, this is also the MRO Challenge out there at the moment. So, and it's Kevin Ridley that leads that, 50 points from Paul Rhodes in second, 33. So there is that 94 machine SM class Spangenberg. However, out front in the MotoGP Challenge, that's a machine of Scott Woodacre, 16 points, 7th in the championship, but he will take the checkered flag on the 43 Aprilia for this first SM3 MRO Challenge. So as the riders come back onto the line for the second race, here again, it's that 43 machine of Scott Woodacre that's got the drop on the rest, but he's under a bit of pressure there now from a KTM rider. It looks like 75 Kevin Ridley. Now remember, Ridley is the MotoGP Challenge Series leader, 50 points, winner of race 1 there behind him on that 43 machine Scott Woodacre. There is the 111 machine, well that is Carl Abram, 450 Kawasaki, and he's another MotoGP Challenge rider. So again, mixture here between the two classes, but a great scrap here on at the front, and these two are really banging handlebars. This is supermoto racing as you would expect. No quarter given and no quarter taken where possible. It's the 43 machine that now leads. So Scott Woodacre has it from 75, Kevin Ridley. So Ridley, I think, will still lead the series, leaving here to round 3, which incidentally is back here again on this superb Lydden circuit here in Kent. But a good scrap between these two. That's the 52 machine just going through there. That is Lee Cunliffe, another SM3 rider, and Cunliffe at the moment leading this SM3 class. It's his first round of the series, missing the first round, so he'll be happy with this result. As the race leader 43, Scott Woodacre, comes through the flip-flop at the finish here to take the checkered flag for the second time today. So Lee Cunliffe there on the KTM, 45 points from Rolf Spangenberg, Colin Spink. MRO Challenge, Scott Woodacre, of course, Kevin Ridley, Stuart Jones. There is Lee Cunliffe, feeling pretty happy with himself at the moment, SM3 winner. And the top boys, that's the championship standings. Rolf Spangenberg there from Colin Spink, Mike Dunleavy, and the MRO Challenge, Kevin Ridley, Scott Woodacre and Paul Rhodes. Okay, this is the MotoGP SM2 Race 1. These are, of course, all the 450cc machines. It's 69 James Addy that leads them through, as the rest of the field trying to claw their way through the dust. It's a little bit, it is out there dusty. Rob McNeely was in there as well, the number 10 machine, but it is that 69 bike that leads from Jochen Jasinski, the German, in second place. Look out for 71, Thierry Godefroy, the former World Motocross rider. It could well be him in third place. So a lot of the lads, it is indeed 71. It is Godefroy on the Kawasaki. So we've got two Germans there at the moment, led by the 69 machine of James Addy. That's a 450 KTM. And number 4 goes through. So Jasinski on the Husqvarna takes the lead, followed by Godefroy in third. And between those two, the 69 bike of course, young Addy. This track here at Lydden, always spectacular. The sun shining, and a reasonable crowd has turned out to enjoy the racing. So number 4, Jasinski, comes through the flip-flop here with Godefroy in second place, but the battle on now for third, because number 17, Ricky Higgs, another former motocross rider, getting involved with that. He's now gone past that 69 bike of James Addy, but there is that 4 bike. Jasinski leads this 450 SM2 class. Remember, all the same cc of machine, no difference, just 450 class, SM2 as it's known, or S2 as far as the World Championship is concerned. Anyway, Jasinski then takes the checkered flag as we wait for the second race to come onto the grid. So here we go. Race 2 then, 71 up the inside, Thierry Godefroy, second in race 1. And it's the 17 bike of Ricky Higgs on the Honda that's got the drop on the rest. There is Godefroy, 71, second in race 1. Behind Ricky Higgs and the winner of race 1, Jasinski on the Husqvarna number 4, back there in third as the rest swallow the dust. It's the top 3 that's starting to pull away with looks like number 90, could be 91, that Chris Hodgson, that has got away in that 4th position. We'll wait for him to come around again as we peer through the gloom. But 71, Godefroy, the former World MX1 rider, the German, well, decided to try his hands at something that takes a little less physical energy than motocross. When you get to the age of 33 or so, it gets a little bit hard, that sport. 43, well, he's in there as well and battling hard. That's Scott Woodacre. Well, you remember you saw him in the MRO Challenge. That's the 94 bike of Richard Blackman in there as well. So Richard having his own little war, but that is the 17 bike going through, followed by, looks like, the 56 bike of David Jackson behind him. There's the 90 machine going through. That's Michael Zammit, the Frenchman, but there is number 4, Joachim Jasinski, winner of race 1. He's got a problem. Meanwhile, it's Ricky Higgs, another former schoolboy motocrosser. Ricky deciding to try his hands on the tarmac as the checkered flag goes out. So Ricky Higgs confirmed the winner then of the SM2 race 2. Good run, damn good run from Ricky. He'll be happy with that, but not so good for Joachim Jasinski. But Ricky Higgs takes the overall by way of that second race win from Jasinski, Godefroy, Addy and Zammit, and Clements there, George Clements on the Honda, 18 points. So there he is, Mr. Ricky Higgs. He'll be happy with that, I think. Smile on his face. So Ricky Higgs leads the championship by 5 points over Hodgson, with Addy, Zammit, Jasinski and Godefroy. 6th place for the Kawasaki rider, and he'll be back for more suspect for round 3. So here we go, this is SM1. Number 4, Joachim Jasinski on the bigger bike, the 610 Husqvarna. Number 11, Sam Warren on the 550 Aprilia. Sam leaving the World Championship at the moment to do this particular British Challenge for Aprilia, because his teammate Christian Dillon running so well in the World Championship standings. Sam, I also understanding, have a little bit of a budget problem to be travelling around Europe doing World SM Supermoto. But however, it is Sam Warren that leads, so Sam, the clear winner from the first round up there at Cadwell Park, looking to try and increase his advantage here today, and no good reason why he shouldn't do on that factory Aprilia. It's a twin-cylinder machine. Number 20 and number 25 locked in battle there. That's Keith Faulkner and Ben Askew having their own little war as 44 goes through. It's getting closer. That's Carl Shields on the Hussenberg as they get into that little slippery right and left-hand section. The top riders, you'll see they'll have the bike really sideways into there, but it's 4 chasing down number 11. So Jadzinski on the 610 Husqvarna chasing the 550 Aprilia, and someone's taking a shortcut. No, I think you're not allowed to do that. That's A.D. Smith. What happened there, I'm not sure. Whether he'll be penalised for missing the chicane or not, I'm not sure. Or if he didn't gain any advantage, they'll probably let him get away with that. Number 11 leads, Sam Warren from Joachim Jajinski. He's in second place. Greg Kinsella on the 55 bike around there as well. We haven't seen him so far, but we're staying with this battle for first place. And just look at Warren back in that factory Aprilia right into that flip-flop chicane. Jadzinski on the bigger machine, unable to respond. Another good scrap going on here. We've got A.D. Smith. Whoa, and down goes 2 of them. And A.D. Smith picks up the advantage from that. Well, that's what happens when you get your handlebars locked together on a tight chicane. Yellow flags will go out. Hopefully we're not going to see a stoppage as the 51 bike just goes down a lap. That's Tony Perfect. He's lapped now by the race leader. So the final result was, of course, a win for Sam Warren. So, race 2 got underway. Sam Warren started second in this one, but the number 4 machine of Jadzinski trying to on. Jadzinski getting poked right into the straw bales there. So that won't be a second place for him. Warren giving no quarter whatsoever. A.D. Smith there on that 660 KTM. Of course, we spoke to that man earlier. Well, A.D. that's the 33 bike there, also in pursuit of that group, and that would be Jay Smith. But let's have a look at that again, where you see Sam Warren went up the inside of Jadzinski, slammed on the front brake, had nowhere to go but onto the floor. So Samuel Warren takes the checkered flag in race 2. A.D. Smith will come through to take second. Good ride from A.D. So that's the result. Sam Warren from A.D. Smith from Kinsella. Jadzinski, after crashing in race 2, finished 4th. Jackson and Keith Farmer down there in 6th. 20 points. That's the result overall. There is the man, Sam Warren, right in the middle with A.D. Smith to his left. Sam should smile, so he should. 90 points. Leads the championship from Smith. Christian Lydden, of course, not here today. Farmer, Kinsella, and Michael Zammit, the Frenchman, down there in 6th. So we're going to take a short break as we put a bit of water on the track. We'll see you back in a few mo's. So here we go, this is the super final, the big one of the day. One man missing from this, and that of course is that number 2 in the World Supermoto Championship, and that is Christian Lydden, not here. But we've just seen the S3 riders go off the line. They get a bit of a start on the rest. This is the big boys on the big bikes, the 650s, the 450s. They're now going to chase down the little 250s out front, the SM3 riders, and it's number 11, Sam Warren, that leads. Well, Warren, of course, leads the championship coming in today, 25 points, 5 in front of A.D. Smith, and Christian Lydden not racing in today, 16, with Chris Hodges down in 4th on 13, Lee Jones and Greg Kinsella and Alex Thibault making up the top 7. There is that 71 machine of Thierry Godefroy, and Thierry deciding to come and do a bit of racing here in the UK. Nice to have him with us. 25 in amongst that group, as well as they bear down on this group of SM3 riders. Well, it's 52 that leads at the moment, and I suspect that is an SM3 rider that's out front. That's Lee Cunliffe, indeed it is, but he will find and feel the wrath of those bigger bikes anytime now. The Lydden Circuit, well, it's short enough to give these guys a bit of a chase. A.D. Smith there in second. Greg Kinsella, that could be back there in third. That's the 72 bike they're going through of Colin Spink on the 250 Suzuki. Now remember, Colin Spink was the series leader of the SM3 coming here today, 45 points. There is that 55 machine, and that of course is Greg Kinsella. And Greg at the moment, we're looking down the list, he's 6, 10 points, so need to do a better scoring here at this round. Round 3, of course, takes place here at Lydden as well, so whether they're going to make any track changes, I'm not sure. We'll find out as we get to that third programme. So 52 it is at the moment. That's the young man, I think, that's leading the SM3 class. 72 there behind him, Colin Spink. And there is Sam Warren on that 550 factory Aprilia, the twin-cylinder bike, virtually the only twin-cylinder bike out there as far as manufacturers are concerned, and of course Aprilia leading the World Series at the moment, the SM2 Series. Number 11, Samuel Warren, with A.D. Smith behind him on that big thundering 660 KTM, of course sponsored by UK KTM. A.D. Smith for Enduros, former British Enduro champion, and no stranger to side-sliding on a supermoto bike. He's been doing this sport literally since its start here in the UK, along with people like Warren Steele. Of course, Warren Steele, those of you that know British supermoto world know that he's now retired after that serious leg break that he picked up. In fact, he broke it 3 times. So a shame. So if Warren is watching, good day to you, mate. And well, it'd be nice to see you back on a bike again, but we understand the reasons why you decided to call it a day. There is the race leader, number 11, second place behind him, and third also there, Greg Kinsella on the Husaberg 650. Godfroyd back in fourth somewhere on the number 71 Kawasaki. But they gingerly pick their way in that newly watered off-road section. That'll keep the dust down. So they still find a position to go wide and chuck up some dust nevertheless. Want to stay off the slippery stuff, of course. Remember, these are basically almost slick tyres. They've got small cut treads into them just to allow for any sort of penetration of water, but basically they are almost slick tyres. So when you get on that slippery stuff, there isn't a lot of grip. These bikes slide around. It's a motocross bike with a few changes. Obviously the brakes have been changed, suspension a little changed, wheels and tyres of course have been changed. That's what a supermoto bike is. That's how it all started off as Supermoto Motard over in Belgium and France. Number 11 leads it. 52, well, he was and still is the SM3 class leader, Lee Cunliffe. He's now been lapped by Sam Warren, which I'm not at all surprised. Your 250s against the bigger bikes. But there is Samuel Warren looking very, very good at the moment. The two guys chasing him, A.D. Smith and Kinsella, not able to do anything about the pace of the man out front. So A.D. Smith, that enduro experience at the moment, not paying off too greater dividends in the off-road section, as he manhandles that big KTM through and onto the tarmac in chase of Sam Warren, number 11, the Aprilia rider. Sam was, I was saying, about 20th in the world when he decided to stick around here in the UK and do the British series due to, I think, a little bit of lack of funds and budgets to enable him to drive around Europe. If anybody out there fancies pitching in a little bit of dosh and helping the lad out, I'm sure he'll be only too thankful from your contribution. So as the rest of the riders pick their way through, it's the number 11 bike into that flip-flop start and finish area again with a number 5 bike in pursuit. Then Kinsella on the 55 bike. So we've got Aprilia, KTM and Husaberg, followed in fourth by Godfroyd on the Kawasaki. It could be a KTM of 69, James Addy, who's back there in fifth. Jay Smith also on the KTM, running around about sixth. Chris Hodgins, George Clements on the Honda. First Honda in this group, back in 8th place. There is that 55 bike once again, Greg Kinsella. So the Irishman having to try and pick his way through this off-road section, having to swallow a mouthful of dust while doing so, trying to get on terms with the bike out front, which of course is A.D. Smith. Has he done it? And the answer is no, I don't think he has, as they're beginning already to pick their way through the slower riders. That looks like 91 there, and yes, indeed it is Chris Hodgson with 0-0-0, and not only, well, that could be Andy Mitchell. All the zeros, that could well be Andy Mitchell on the 450 Honda. Yes, it is. I recognise that set of shoulders anywhere. So Andy Mitchell not having the best of days, but here we go. This is that battle for second place again. That is A.D. Smith and Kinsella behind him. So these two, they've been going at it corner to corner. You can just see, you just caught Sam Warren there as he goes through. These two have been banging handlebars for the last 3 or 4 laps. They can't decide who wants to finish second. Well, somebody has to be the bridesmaid, and it's a question of which one it's going to be. I really think they aren't going to catch Sam Warren. He's gone. Samuel Warren on the Aprilia is off, gone, and said goodbye to the rest. As he did basically at Cadwell Park. He was caught and chased sometimes by Christian Lydden, his Aprilia teammate, but it looks like Kinsella up the inside. No, it's not going to work. Couldn't do it. Oh, somebody off the track there. Could well have been 64. That would be Chris Babbitt on the Husaberg. Well, that's 99. Nigel Scott, another Aprilia rider. We've got just 2 of them here, Nigel Scott and of course Sam Warren, the race leader. Rest of the field made up by Hondas and KTMs and Husabergs and Husqvarnas and the odd Suzuki. Of course, that in the hands of Colin Spink, who is riding in the SM3 class on the 250 machine. Let me remind you, SM3s are 250 machines. So naturally they have now been passed by the faster bikes. Not lapped, just passed. Race leader, there he is, number 11. Starts another new lap and he's in the lead, and that machine sounding really gorgeous as it drops into the right hand at the top of Lydden and comes up onto the dirt section again to start a new lap. Well, passing the slower riders, as you would expect. He is a world-class supermoto rider, of course. Sam did do a bit of motocross in his day, but has decided to take up the tarmac stuff. And obviously you don't quite need the same level of fitness. There's a man that was fit in his day and still is, A.D. Smith, number 5. Enduro riding, it's tough. You're out there for many hours in the forests around different areas of Wales and England, and it's a tough old sport. Not quite the same level of fitness as a motocross rider needs, but still you need to be fit nevertheless. So do these guys. Let's not put them down. They have to be fit to do this. And look at Warren. He is looking so good at the moment. Well, this battle for second place looks like AD has not yet shrugged off the attention of Kinsella, because that's a back marker that are about to go past. He did indeed look over his shoulder, so everybody's safely through the little chicane there at the start and finish. We've seen already a couple of multi-big crashes there. Everybody's got up and walked away, thankfully. No one's hurt, which is always good. Supermoto pretty safe. These guys wearing protected leather clothing. Look at Kinsella. Well, he really does want to get through in a second. Had a little poke there, but lost the front end temporarily on that slippery stuff. And A.D. Smith making sure the man not taking advantage of that. And A.D. still hangs on to that second place and those points. Meanwhile, the Irishman, Greg Kinsella, trying all he can to get on terms. That's a 69 bike there of James Addy, the 450 KTM. KTM, of course, a big input into supermoto riding. They do produce a very nice 4-stroke bike, but it's going to be number 11 for the second time today. Samuel Warren takes the win here in the super final, round 2 of this British Supermoto Championship. And the battle for second place was finally resolved with A.D. Smith taking it, 20 points. Kinsella, Godfroyd stayed in 4th. James Addy for 5th, and Jay Smith rounded out the top 6.
Sam Warren.
Well, there he is again, top step. Sam Warren taking the trophies and the prize money. That'll help his budget. Maybe we'll see him back at World Class Supermoto yet. A.D. Smith there with his Mechler hat on, and there is Samuel Warren with his Puteline hat on. So Warren leads the championship. 50 points from A.D. Smith to Kinsella, Hodson, James Addy and Christian Idden now drops down to 6, but I'm sure he'll be back. So, round 3 comes from Lydden here again. It's Sam Warren who'll be here to defend his title for sure. He hasn't won it yet, but I'm pretty sure he will. We'll see you then, okay? Have a good time.